Heavy Browns, just for today. We'll be going off the just for today in the NA literature. And yeah, please enjoy. So, February 22nd, 2019. God's will or mine? Step 10. In Narcotics Anonymous, we found that the more we live in harmony with our higher power's will for us, the greater the harmony in our lives. We use the 10th step to help us maintain that harmony. On a daily basis, we take time to look at our behavior. Some of us measure each action with a very simple question: God's will or mine? In many cases, we find that our actions have been in tune with our higher power's will for us, and we in turn have been in tune with the world around us. In some cases, however, we will discover inconsistencies between our behavior and our values. We've been acting on our own will, not God's, and the result has been dissonance in our lives. When we discover such inconsistencies, we admit we've been wrong and take corrective action with greater awareness of what we believe God's will for us to be in such situations. We are less likely to repeat those actions, and we are more likely to live in greater concord with our higher power's will for us and the world around us. Just for today, I wish to live in harmony with my world. Today, I will examine my actions, asking God's will or mine. Yeah, God's will or mine. That's one of the hardest things. They say that, you need to turn your will over to God. Your addiction and where you ended up, that was your will that put you there. And to get out of it, you have to turn that will, that self-will that got you there, into the hands of God and trust Him and use God's will. Now, a lot of people don't like using the word God. Yeah, I'm okay with it, to be honest. I'm cool saying God. I don't ascribe to any particular religion. But when I say God, I just mean some bigger omnipotent power that, I can barely comprehend because it is so great and vast. But turning your will over to God's will is so hard. It's so hard to do. Last night, I felt like I had a situation where I should have turned it over to God's will, but I didn't. So I went on a first date, Tinder date actually. Look at me go. And we were at an arcade. And we left the arcade, and then I dropped her off, and I got back to my place, and I realized that I left my Juul vape, which is something I'm not proud of, but I left it. I looked all over my truck. I couldn't find it. It was gone. So I was freaking out because I hit that before I go to bed, and it's I'm very kind of psycho about it. And I was looking for it, didn't find it. I called the place, and I was like, could you guys check for it here, check for it there, I think I left it behind. And then I got into my apartment, and I was like, you know what, I'm going back for it. I'm going to retrace my steps, and I'm going to find it. And that was my will, because I was just refusing to go to bed without it. There was thoughts going in my head. I was like, fuck, maybe I should just go get a pack of cigarettes and have a cigarette before bed. That'd, be the same almost, I guess. It'd be worse, but it's kind of like that thing where, you can't get this one thing, so you're willing to go to the next level. Your drug of choice isn't available, so you go into something harder. And that happens a lot in the terms of addiction and, going down the spiral into harder drugs. So anyways, I get in my truck, I start driving back, I get a phone call back from the lady there. She's like, no, we haven't found it. So I'm still going there. I drive there, I park, I retrace my steps, look around where I parked, make sure I didn't leave it, get inside, and then we were at an arcade, so I go around from every game we were at, and I go back and back and back. And then I find it in this karaoke machine game. And at that moment, I was pumped because I found it. And part of me was like, wow, I'm so impressed that I was able to retrace my steps and find this thing. That kind of shows that, my brain is working well. and it's not like super clouded by, substances like it has been previously. But it also, kind of says like that my addictive personality, my will in that situation was like, I refuse to go to bed without this thing. I'm finding this no matter what. I could not let that go. So it was just like, back when I was addicted to drugs and I had to get that drug. There was no way I wasn't going without it. No matter how many people I had to call, no matter where I had to go, I was going to get it. There would be a way. So, and then that's what happened, last night. I got it. So it was like a really mixed feeling getting it. But in the end, I was happy about it. I actually ran up to the lady at the counter. I was like, "Hey, I'm the guy that called about the frickin' Juul vape, and you don't need to leave that note for the janitor tomorrow, because guess what? I found it." And I honestly went up to her because I just wanted to tell someone that I'd found this thing. I was bragging, I guess. And then I got back in my truck and I drove home. So yeah, turning your will over to someone else, God, creator, whatever you want to call it, but a higher power. Turning your will over is so hard. And it's easy. It's like telling the truth. Telling the truth is pretty easy most of the time. And giving your will over is, pretty easy most of the time. But it's that 3 to 5% of situations where you're staring a lie in the face. And just telling a lie would make something so much easier. But it's right then that determines whether you're a liar or someone who tells the truth no matter what. And that was one of the 3 to 5 situations that I didn't turn my will over to God. Or maybe I did. And maybe I should have went and got it. And that was God's will. But no, it wasn't. It was my will. So, yeah. Turning your will over to God is hard. And it's something that you have to work on every day. So, thank you for joining me for the first Heavy Brown episode of Just for Today. I'll see you tomorrow. Heavy Brown out.